there. You'll have that. There could be toxins in that can liner. There's probably toxins in the cigarettes I smoke too. There's probably toxins in like anything we eat that comes from a grocery store. Like, when you go to a restaurant, half the stuff you're eating was in a can. You never know, it's crazy. So don't spill my supper. I know, right? We got to be careful. That happens. Some cans, the big cans are happening. This has those little rivets to hold different cans, but you see that we're just kind of riding on the edge here. Just a little bit. One shake, it's all over. But the crying we still got to do. Oh, buddy, she's piping. That ain't exhaust.
I hope that tomorrow, Marcus, I hope that tomorrow we will be able to have a system in place in which the reimbursements can finally take place to those that
Read my eyes. They tell my story, and the story of Voluminous Original, America's #1 mascara. Creamy formula for 5 times the volume. Voluminous Original Mascara by L'Oreal. My eyes are saying you're worth it.
The Pentagon has essentially shut the door. The Pentagon has essentially shut the door on Poland's plan to give fighter jets
Under the grandstands. I believe that's closed. Yeah, that is closed right now. Yeah, she didn't want to be disturbed, guys. Yeah, I really wish I brought my hand warmers right now. Ask the guy who gave you a cookie. He went somewhere else. Put one hand in your pocket. Yeah, that's what I've been doing, but the glove that I'm wearing isn't keeping me very warm. Hey, Han, are you gonna join all of us on Jeff's Hangout channel tonight? We consider you a part of our fam now. We'll be on in about 30 minutes. I'm not sure, guys. I might try to make an appearance there, but I'm gonna have a really early morning tomorrow, and yeah, I'm gonna try and stay out here for a little bit longer, and just sort of show you guys the convoy at night. But yeah, if I can, I'll try to make an appearance on there. Yeah, before this I was doing a lot of nightly, what do you call it? Like StreamYards, you know, talking to viewers and stuff. Which I don't know if some of you guys like that kind of content. I don't really have time to make those live streams anymore. So yeah, I think I could. All that to say, All that to say, yes, I might stop in. I'll try my best, but I'm gonna try to get a good night's sleep tonight because I just haven't gotten very much sleep recently, and I want to be well rested for tomorrow. Seems like it's gonna be a pretty big day. So yeah, I'm gonna try to get all rested up for that. So is Zod down here? No, Zod is not. Zod's not down here. Unfortunately, he couldn't come down to the US.
Yeah, even that, dude. I don't ever eat on the stream, so this is a first. Like, you can ask my people when I'm gaming. I don't eat on the stream. I'm weird. I don't want nobody watching me eat. Man, look away. What are you doing? You know?
There was one time that I brought him dinner and he accidentally went live and it was eating
Well, no, I
his
was
dinner.
live, got off. She brought me my dinner and I had like double clicked it, didn't realize it. So it went right back live and I was sitting there just shoving my face, eating my dinner.
It was so funny.
And I looked over and seen the chat rolling and was like, oh, shit. I don't accidentally go live much, but that was a good one. Everybody's like, dang, bro, is that good? You slow down. You're going to get your fingers, man. Chill. I'm telling you, bro, it'll bring you back to life. The only thing, these like, these thicker chicken noodle ones, the noodles are kind of plain. Just a little. Like if you get a bite of just noodles and broth, like it's almost like, damn, bro, I needed a carrot or, excuse me, something in there. You know. Whoa. Oh shit. I just hit the wrong button, sorry. Now that was way too hot. It's the second time I burnt my mouth today. Second time. So, now that things are calming down on our end, what do y'all got going on the rest of the night? No. I really didn't want to like burn my mouth on the camera. I already knew that would be an ugly sight. Ow, 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 ow. Is that the moon or a light? Oh, that's the moon, bro. Whoa, dude. I'm a stereotypical white dude when it comes to seasoning.
Someone said, yeah. This morning's video. Oh, wow. Yeah, I guess it was. That's really weird because usually YouTube will only take it down if you talk about COVID or if you talk about like the vaccines. But I don't think you really talked about that, so that's super weird.
No, I didn't. But there were probably other offensive things that were truthful that they didn't want to hear, you know?
Yeah, no,
so,
YouTube's super trigger happy with the strikes and everything.
Yeah, I was hoping to show that to my wife too, actually.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've been trying to back up all the stuff on Rumble because Rumble doesn't really have any censorship, so that sucks that I couldn't back that up.
So, have you ridden with a truck yet?
No, I haven't, because I just got here just yesterday.
Oh, okay.
So I haven't been able to go on the belt.
Well, if you want to go, let me know. I can give you my card. Just let me know what day you want to go.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay, sure.
Do you know if they're going tomorrow?
Oh, yeah, I think, but it's kind of, they're waiting in the morning because he said I got a special plan for tomorrow.
Oh,
so I'm not sure what it's going to be. I think we'll still go somewhere.
Okay.
Some other guy was recommending, hey, how if we go to other cities like Harrisburg, and but it's like, no, we're in Maryland. You know, you have to work with local law enforcement to do everything you're going anyway.
Yeah.
So they had to get in touch with all the authorities from here to DC.
Really?
To arrange to let them know we're doing this, and you have to let them know so that nothing kooky happens and gets us all in trouble.
Yeah.
So, but
Are there like police escorting you when you go down?
No, but I'll tell you this. Oh, it's chilly out here.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Do you want to talk in the truck, or do you want something to do? I mean, you
yeah,
want to
sure.
keep
I can come in. I was looking for hand warmers.
You were looking for what?
I was looking for hand warmers because someone gave me these gloves earlier.
Oh,
and then I put them on and I realized they're like
too small?
No, like lawn gloves, so they don't do much for warmth, but
you need a pair of gloves then. Is they warm?
Yeah, I had all my winter gear in Ottawa, and then I moved and I completely lost all my stuff.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I had the whole outfit.
Yeah.
The snow pants, the boots, everything.
Oh wow. Yeah. So I will look, but I might have a pair of gloves. Actually, they do have gloves back there in the.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I might either stop at Walmart or go over there tomorrow.
Yeah, right here. You know, they got everything here. They got gloves.
Yeah.
So in the morning you should be able to get some.
Yeah, hopefully.
But yeah, so.
That sucks about the other video though.
What's that?
That sucks about the other video getting taken down. I'll see if I can. There's a way I can like download it or something and send it to you. I would
love to get that.
Yeah.
It's cool that some people saw it anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm down there, the white truck.
Oh, this one.
The white one down up there.
Okay.
Right over there. Yeah. The door's open on the other side anyway. I had other people in the truck earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Always talking to somebody. You know, it's never a dull moment.
Yeah.
It's like you can't walk anywhere without getting to talk to somebody anyway.
Yeah, everybody, they're so friendly here.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you. Here, let me try and stand it up.
Sure.
There you go. So yeah, for you guys who didn't get to see the live stream earlier, this is Marty.
Hi everybody, glad to see you. This is a great girl right here. She was covering the Ottawa deal with all my trucker buddies up there in Canada. So anybody who does that is a hero for me.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you know anyone who was able, any truckers that were in Ottawa who came down here?
I haven't met it. Well, the only one I know is that Dr. Paul, and this can go up and down however you want it. Up and down, just adjust it whatever you want. The red button's up and down, all the rest are all the other adjustments you can do.
Oh, wow, cool.
Yeah, air ride seat.
Wow.
So, no, the only guy that I know for sure, but I have heard that there are other truckers here from Canada. I'd love to meet them. That Dr. Paul Alexander that spoke tonight, did you see him? Oh, yeah, you were right behind me, videotaping him.
I was right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I caught that. Oh, thank you. You have everything. You're so prepared.
Well, gets emotional, right?
Yeah.
So, anyway, yeah, I'd love to meet some Canadian truckers that were up in that protest up there. Yeah.
I don't know if you saw Jeff's live stream, Travel Fun.
No, I didn't.
No? He's here. I think we're the only two Canadian live streams, or the only two live streamers that were in Ottawa that are down here. So I talked to him earlier, and I've heard that there are other Canadian truckers, but I haven't been able to see them yet.
Well, it's easy to spot them if you do find them, because the tag on the front will be Canadian.
Yeah.
So that would be one way, and then the name on the door will have. We all have to have our, well, not nowadays, but I mean most of them do have their location for their home their home business. I mean wherever the business is domiciled at.
Yeah.
It's on the side of the truck.
Okay.
So yeah, hopefully we'll find out where they are.
I will. I'll look out for that.
Yeah.
On the trucks.
So, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, do you have any like ties with Canada? Do you have any family there?
No, I know certain truckers that are up there that I've met. I'm also a freight broker, so I also have to look for my customers when I can't cover it on my own truck.
Okay.
So I've brokered loads all the way up into all the provinces of Canada, and I have a couple of good trucker buddies up there, Danny Levesque and Sylvain Dumont. Any of those Canadian truckers up there will maybe know them. So I thought something extra happened on the light there, but anyway, no. I was just curious though, to you, what have been some of your more interesting interviews?
Here?
Yeah, here.
Here, I'm trying to remember because I talked to so many people. I just talked to actually someone just maybe 30 minutes ago, and they're organizing a sort of speech where we're gonna get like a bunch of streamers out there and live stream the whole thing, and then they're gonna try to get a bunch of people to like re-stream the live stream. So they're just trying to get the message out there. And those guys, I believe the one guy's name, no, I'm not gonna remember. I'm honestly not even that bad with names, but it's just because I meet so many people every day. It's like I have trouble remembering. But those two guys that were on earlier, they're just going around to everybody, like trying to like start a movement. I don't know. I think that's just really special.
So you've been talking about the live streamers?
Yeah, I've only met. I talked to Sasnak too.
Okay.
I don't know if you.
Yep.
Yeah,
Sasnak.
He's. I watched his live streams too when he was coming up here, so it was really cool to talk to him.
Yeah, I saw. I was watching some of his too, and my wife was watching more than I. She's the one that was watching him when I was in Ruther Glen, Virginia, to try to find out where they were, and she found out they were over here in Hagerstown, so I came up this way. And I've yet to actually physically meet him, although we've gone right by each other on the highway.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like actually the other day, on the beautiful day that we had, he passed me a couple times, and then you'd see him on the side of the road videotaping the convoy.
Really?
And there was a 1950 Kenworth needle nose in front of me with a Mercury sleeper, which I know you don't know all that, but
I've heard of the name Kenworth.
Yeah,
that's all I know.
Yeah, the world's best. That's the slogan. But anyway, that 50 Kenworth was probably the most unique truck in the convoy because it's 1950 and it's a classic truck, butterfly hood, steel nose as they call it. And the Mercury sleeper is something that's been out of business for many years. It's almost like something like a sleeper that's wrapped in aluminum foil. So he was parked over there in that area before where you were headed when I just caught you just now. But the funny thing was, when I saw Sasnak on the side of the road videotaping, I thought, oh cool, he's gonna actually get my truck. But when he saw that 50 Kenworth, he went all the way over like that, and right there, he went right by me to the next truck. I was going, oh,
You gotta get it next time.
Yeah. So anyway, if he does it again. But anyway, no, it's cool. Actually, a customer texted me today and said, "Hey, are you up in DC at the convoy?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "I thought I saw your truck," and I can't remember how he said he saw it, but And he saw it anyway.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
Yeah.
It's a little hot for you?
Oh no, it's fine.
Oh, good.
I like the warmth.
You need to get warm after being out there. It's chilly, raw to the bone.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure.
So what did you do? Now, I don't know if you want me to interview you too, but...
I mean, if you have questions,
yeah. So what did you do before you started doing this kind of...
like the live streaming and stuff?
Yeah, before you... Well, this is like a business now, so...
It's honestly, like, it's so brand new, so... yeah, so Zot, who's Matt, started the live streaming.
Wait a minute, you're not Zot?
Zot is a guy.
Yeah.
And I'm
okay.
Zodette. And Zot started the whole channel.
Really?
Yeah, and basically when he got arrested, because I'm not the one who got arrested, he got arrested. And when, yeah, so basically I just had to take over. I had been live streaming for him up until that point. Like, he started probably a week before me. And then I started a week after him live streaming the Auto Convoy. When he got arrested, I had to come down here because they won't let him across the border. So yeah, I'm not Zot. I don't know if you're
like
disappointed.
I said before when I said I watched Zot before. I remember seeing that. Of course, there were so many live streamers up there in Canada.
Yeah.
But I remember I had clicked on the Zot before, but there were several that I had clicked on. I'd be switching around looking for. Okay, no, I don't want to watch that. I want to watch something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, if they were just kind of walking down the street, it was
hard
like
to put a face to the.
yeah, because a lot of them don't go on it, except for Viva Fry maybe. But yeah, a lot of the guys just keep showing everybody else, and you don't know what they look like.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. It's
So
me too. Like I don't turn the camera around that much. Like, I'll turn it around whatever if I'm saying something or eating, but I don't turn it around that much. So I guess.
So where's Zot now?
He's back in Ottawa.
Okay.
He's
sort of free.
Yeah, like he's not, he's not in jail or anything, but he's, I guess, kind of waiting on more news about the trial and everything. So for now he just can't come to the US, which sucks. But
so a little bit about my background in case anybody's interested, or I don't know if they have any questions, but the main thing, if you watch, maybe you should probably see if anybody has questions, but I started trucking after I got out of the Navy in '78, so I did 4 years in the Navy, and came out really restless, and I had 13 jobs in that first year.
Really?
And that was some of them like 2 or 3 days, like, man, this isn't for me, you know? And all I really wanted to do was truck anyway, so I wasn't satisfied no matter what I was doing. And eventually I got into trucking and started with a company in Kansas, which was, at that time, it was hard to find a job without experience. So I hitchhiked out to Kansas to Fort Scott and got a job with Midwestern Distribution. And the guy
Can I get a radio check on this radio? How about it? Can I get a radio check, please?
Working driver. And the driver that had been training me said, yeah, if you can't find a job, go to Fort Scott, go to Midwestern Distribution. They'll hire anybody, you know? So I went out there, I passed the driving test, and back then there wasn't much more than that. So I started trucking out of there, team driving in a spring ride cab over Freightliner. Cab over is like that there. It's no hood. That's a cab over. So that's a cab over. It's people, you know, when we were kids, we used to call them flat fronts. And the cab is over the engine. So in between you and me, it's further apart because it's a wider cab, and the engine cover is right here. So there'll be a long engine cover and then the seat on the other side. But the good part about that truck, though they don't make them all like that, I mean, they didn't come out with all of them like that, but the dash was pretty much all across here, and that whole engine cover was soft, leather covered, or vinyl, whatever, but it was like a leather with a lot of padding. And so when the other guy was asleep, we ran team. If we weren't running somewhere, or if I felt tired and I wanted to go to sleep, I'm not going to jump in the bunk with him. So I'd just grab a pillow and I'd put it on the jump seat, as they call it, and I'd lay right across, and it would be a great sleep. Really? You know, yeah, nice sleep, nice and soft. And I was doing what I always wanted to do, man. I was living what I wanted to do, and ran all 48 states and a little bit into Canada, and a couple times, and I just loved traveling, man. It's not like work when you're doing what you want to do. So if anybody's out there and you're thinking, you know, I'd like to go trucking, I'd like to see the country, and well, you know, if you want to do it, if you really want to do it, you can do it. And they even have a lot of trucks now that are automatics, so you don't have to worry about trying to shift. There's a lot of companies that have automatic trucks. But then again, there's companies you want to stay away from. I probably shouldn't name them, but
yeah, I don't know. They're gonna like strike my video.
Yeah, right. So there's a lot of these big companies out there that don't treat you right. And here's the thing: if you ever want to get into trucking, you do not want to. Well, you want to find out. Okay, if you're getting paid by the mile, which most of them are going to pay you by the mile, you're going to ask them, well, do you pay practical miles or household movers guide, or what they call short miles? So household movers guide is something from way back, and it's like they would figure out, okay, from Miami to Buffalo, New York, they would take as the crow flies all the way up any little skinny road, as long as it's in a straight line. But if you're on a highway, interstate, and it's going up here, then it's going over there, and then it's going up here, it's like a couple of sevens, you might say. Well, you're not getting paid all those miles. You're getting paid the line across the triangle.
Yeah.
You know, so that's how they can cut your pay also. And then another thing is accessorials. Accessorials are like additional payments. Like, let's say you get to a place, you had a 3 o'clock appointment, you're there at 2, and they say, hey, we're really backed up, you know, come back in the morning. Well, that's losing my time. What am I going to get paid?
Yeah.
So that's called layover pay. What do you get for layover pay? Oh, we'll give you $20. Oh, wow, $20. Wow, wonderful. All right, that's for the bird in my sleeper, and what about me? You know. So then you got, you know, let's say you get to a place, and again, you got a 2 a.m. appointment. All right, a lot of your grocery loads and produce loads. If you're hauling produce, you're going in a warehouse. Grocery warehouses a lot. And what if you get in there at 2 a.m.? They get you in the door at 4. That's already 2 hours on your time. And then they take, let's just say, at a grocery warehouse, you might take 4 to 6 hours before they get you signed out and out of there. Well, what do you get paid an hour on your time for what they call detention? So detention is how long you were held up. Usually you get the first 2 hours free. Some good companies might just give you 1 hour free and then you get paid, but generally it's going to be 2. Now, me as an owner-operator, I talk to brokers, and I pull a step deck, so I don't go to grocery loads, you know, grocery warehouses. But if I was pulling a van or a reefer, which once in a while I do, just to, when it's bad weather, I don't want to be pulling my step deck. I'll pull a van from my buddy, or I used to rent one. So I would ask, well, this dry van load, what's it gonna pay if I get held up? Oh, don't worry, you won't. Yeah, but I want to know if it gets, you know, what if Murphy's Law comes into play?
Yeah.
You know, don't worry about it. Well, okay, good. If you're not worried about it, then I need $75 an hour or whatever it might be. And, oh man, we only give like 25. Well, then I'm not going to do the load, because I'm not going to, well, yeah, blah, blah, you know. So you get brokers that are like that. And then you realize right away, guess what? The way that guy's talking right now, he's already going to be a problem later on. So yeah. I can dump him right now. Hey, thanks anyway. Appreciate it. I'm not going to take the load, you know. So
do you only really make money if you're super like selective about what you take?
Yeah. You have to be super selective about what you take. So let's say right now, things, because fuel is going out of the sky, it's like, it's crazy trying to get loads moved right now for a reasonable rate. And the problem is the brokers can be dishonest. Actually, in the trucking industry, broker is a dirty name. Okay, but there are some good ones, and there's also truckers that have developed a good rapport with some brokers that they run for all the time. That's fine, you know, but I pick up my own customers mostly, and then I also pick up broker loads, but I'm also pretty choosy about who I broker for. I mean, who I take broker loads from. But there's also some good trucking companies with small little brokerage companies that don't advertise on the internet. That's the way you find your loads typically. If you're on the road, you're looking for another load, you go on the internet to what they call the load boards, and you look for the loads that are posted, and you call the broker, you try to work a deal. Most of the time they're going to have a set rate they want to pay, but if you ask the right questions and you're knowledgeable enough in that industry, you can ask enough questions to see where you will have the upper hand in trying to get a better rate. So would you like something to drink? Water, juice, I got whatever you want.
Did you have some water?
Yeah.
I don't drink when I'm here. I always forget to. I'm like walking
There's a cold one right there.
Perfect.
I think it's
Thank
brand
you so
new.
much.
Make sure it should be.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Thank
Yep. Give me that thing. Got it? Don't spill it on you.
Got it.
All right. So, anyway, it's like, and then there's dirty tricks that some brokers will play with you. If you have any people want questions answered, let me know.
Yeah, post them in the chat if you have questions. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, what do you usually haul?
Anything that'll fit on the step deck. A step deck is like a flatbed, but it drops down to a lower level. Matter of fact, Brian's trailer right there, that's a step deck.
The black one?
The brown, the one that's lit up right there with all the tail lights right there.
Yeah.
That's a step deck. So it's an open deck trailer, and some of the guys will carry ramps underneath the step deck on the sides that they can go out and hook to the rear of the trailer and then drive equipment up onto it. And that's always nice because you're not going to be tarping that. But I can tell you some of the things that I've hauled on a step deck. So just like a flatbed, you might be hauling structural steel that goes to a job site, and then they build buildings with it. You can haul lumber, you can haul steel coils, like coils that are wrapped metal, and you chain through the middle, but you have to put edge protectors so it doesn't cut into the chains don't cut into the steel. Or aluminum or stainless steel, whatever they might be. You can haul pipe, copper, machinery, like manufacturing machinery. You got a question?
I'm trying to see because it's going so fast.
Yeah.
So I'm listening to you. I'm looking at this,
Oh,
but
it's
I'm
tough to
listening
do.
to you.
Yep.
Thank you, Freedom Lab. Yeah. But people, it's like so awkward because you're looking at a
Yeah.
chat and you're trying to listen to someone. It's like, hold on.
And while you're looking through, I can throw a few other things. I've hauled military loads like armored personnel carriers, Army trucks, the new replacement for the Humvee. Believe it or not, one time I hauled a circular set of stairs, looked like a dragon on the step deck. It was a winding, spiraling black set of metal rails, and the platform for the steps was wrought iron, I believe, and it looked really weird. It was very hard to tie down, and went to a very wealthy person's home on Lake Norman, North Carolina. I guess she was one of the descendants of the Dole family, Dole pineapples.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Quite an industry.
yep.
Where do you usually drive?
Well, I'm out of North Carolina, so I also have a few good trucking companies that will send me to either Newport News, Virginia, or Savannah, Georgia, or Charleston, South Carolina to pick up, or Charlotte, pick up machinery that's crated. Sometimes it'll be wood if it's coming right out of the manufacturer or coming from overseas, like Japanese machinery, German machinery. It'll be metal crates, but it'll be a metal top and then structural metal where you can see through it on the sides. And you have to tarp it. All those machines you have to tarp. They're very expensive. And typically trucking companies or owner-operators with their own authority, they typically carry $100,000 on cargo insurance for what their insurance for cargo, like for $100,000. And then there's some that go up to 150, 200, 250. And I actually carry $500,000 because some of the machinery I was hauling before COVID, actually my main customer, was I had a regular run going to the port of Gulfport, Mississippi, and I had a good paying load, and it was very tall machinery, not easy to tarp because it had a lot of sharp edges, so I had all the padding I needed. A lot of people don't want to be bothered with that, but I was, I've always been in good shape. I'm 66 now, so...
So you have to pack all of it yourself?
Yeah, and it's amazing because when my wife went with me back numerous years ago, we went on a trip loaded in North Carolina, some nasty old machinery, and it took me 4.5 hours to pad it properly and tarp it.
Really?
And we went to Pennsylvania. It was pouring rain when we got up there. Thankfully, we had to back inside a building to untarp. That's still a messy job with all that water falling off the tarp and rolling up your tarps and all your equipment. But my wife said to me, "Marty, you are crazy. I never knew how hard you worked." She said, "This is crazy." And I said, "Well, that's what trucking is, honey. A lot of people don't know. When you see a load going down the highway and it's got a tarp on it, it's big machinery, that didn't just fly onto that machine, and it wasn't an easy job. It takes a lot to get a tarp tight and taut so that that tarp isn't flapping in the wind. If it starts flapping, you're going to get wrinkles from the wind, and it's going to be about the same kind of damage as getting it ripped by not protecting it with padding on sharp edges. So once that happens, you've kind of ruined your tarp if you get to running it a long trip and it's flapping in the wind. And then your tarp is fatigued, not going to hold back water. So it's those tarps are expensive to fix and to buy another one.
Yeah.
They're several $100 each.
What happens if, I've heard of this happening before, if something, like say wood, people are hauling wood, like those long planks, and it's not secured properly and it goes flying or something?
So generally, you're going to see loads that aren't properly secured from forward motion that'll go through the back of the cab and sometimes come right through.
Really?
And either kill the guy or miraculously miss him, like steel girders.
Wow.
But coming off the back, yeah, one of the things you got to do when you're hauling open deck, you got to be pulling over and checking several times sometimes, depending on what you're hauling. You got to keep pulling over and checking your load, make sure it's not working its way loose anywhere, and tighten up your straps or chains or both, and do something different if things start working their way back. You can't afford that. The last thing I want to see is some, I guess the worst case scenario, some mother and her kids getting hit by something coming off of my truck. That's awful. I'd hate to see that happen. That would be like the driver that ran into those people in, what was it, California, that killed 4 guys because his brakes went going down the mountain.
Yeah.
I mean, that poor guy, the problem there is the company did not train him how to run down the mountain. You got to learn how to go down mountains and feel what you're, okay, supposedly he had brake problems. Well, as soon as you have brake problems, you got to pull over and check it out. Don't keep going down that mountain.
Yeah.
Or even if you're on a level road, I mean, pull over, check it. That poor guy was green, and what is one of the biggest problems in the trucking industry is these companies that are willing to just hire people, put them in a seat, go ahead, go do it. And if you get burnt out in a year and a half, that's okay. We planned on you getting replaced because we're just paying everybody the littlest amount we can.
Yeah.
And they think they're going to make a better profit like that. But hopefully the people that run that company, hopefully they're the ones that are going to go to jail. They need to. They did not do their due diligence in training this guy, preparing him for mountain driving. Or even if he wasn't trained for mountain, he could have had a brake problem on a regular highway and not know what to do, thinking, supposedly somebody told me today, was it you or someone else told me, he called his dispatcher and they said, just keep going, we'll fix it when we get in.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's
so that's one of the reasons that I decided to buy my own truck.
Yeah.
I got tired of people telling me, oh, that's okay, just bring it in, we'll fix it when you get in. It's like, I'm calling up telling you I got no turn signal on the right side. That's okay, just bring, no, that's okay for you. It's not okay for me.
And if you get a ticket from that,
Yeah.
do you still
Exactly.
you still have to pay that?
Yeah, and nowadays, since Obama's reign, he made it, the FMCSA DOT regulations changed so that now any tickets you get, even as a company driver, go on your personal record for your CDL.
Really?
So, and what the thing was, now, let's say you make a right turn on red, or it's right turn on red. Now, what if they change the law 2 years after you made that right turn, but they said, oh, it's going to be 2 years retroactive. So if you went right on red 2 years ago, you broke the law 2 years ago, and we're going to charge you with that. So that's what Obama did. He said, all these truck drivers that are company drivers or otherwise, if you got a ticket for, let's say, a low air tire that had low air, or brakes out of adjustment, or a turn signal out, well, if you were driving company equipment, the company got charged with that. But Obama said, oh no, you're a driver, you get it charged on your own CDL now. 2 years retroactive. So here's the thing. I used to drive for a couple companies that were not very diligent and didn't care about the maintenance on the equipment. So I said, okay, fine. You don't want to fix it. I'll just look for a state trooper. Oh, hey, hon. Hey, pull over. I'd say, hey, these guys don't want to fix this brake problem on the trailer, and I got right turn signal out. Can you write me a ticket for that? Absolutely. I got an air leak here. Can you write me a ticket for that? Sure. Hey, boss. I just got a ticket, man. I just got pulled over, and they inspected my truck. I can't go anywhere because I got an air leak, and you're going to have to send somebody to fix it. Okay, that's dirty, right? That's dirty because you don't care enough about my life or the motoring public. So I'm going to make you get that fixed since you don't want to do it on your own. Well, if I had been doing that prior to Obama's retroactive ruling, I would have had all that on my license. And what happens to those drivers that had bad bosses, bad equipment, and were getting tickets for bad equipment? Look, those guys were just trying to do their job. And they were getting tickets. But now, because of the way he made that law, it's wiping them out. They can't drive anymore because if you had a certain number of those...
Do you get your license just revoked?
You would. I mean, back then, those guys that the last 2 years, if you had a number of tickets for bad equipment, as a company driver, you would lose your CDL because the points would add up to the point where you can't drive.
Really?
So that's wrong, in my opinion, because a lot of times companies are forcing you to drive. What are you going to do? Quit if you're out in the country and there's nobody else to work for? So getting back to your question about securing loads, one thing I always do with steel girders, steel plates, steel coils, like steel girders and anything flat, I will crisscross what I call X chains in front of it. So I come back along the bottom, come up in the front, over the top, back down this way, and the opposite that way. And I'm not fooling around. It's also for my life, because I don't want anything like that happening. And in the same way on the rear, if I think something's going to work loose, I'm going to put X chains or X straps across the back. I saw a guy with one of these bigger companies in a flatbed at a job site when I pulled in to load up. And I'm looking at that guy there. You could tell he's only like 22, 23 years old. And I'm watching him, and I could just see he didn't get his stuff on his trailer yet. Maybe 1 or 2 pallets, I can't remember. But I was looking at him, and I was thinking, man, this guy doesn't know what he's doing at all. He's so confused. So I watched a couple things go on his trailer. I'm going, oh my God, that is not good. So I went over to the guy, and I said, hey man, you need some help over here? He goes, no man, I'm good. I said, well, can I show you some things? Oh man, I'm cool. I said, well, let me tell you something. That right there, the way you did that, you see how that's loose right there? You see all that? And I started to show him. And he was so proud he couldn't accept any kind of help. But I said, you know what? For the fact that I don't want to see some poor woman and her kids get hit by crap falling off of his trailer, I'm just going to start working with this guy and showing him how to do it. Otherwise, if it wasn't for that, if he was just driving, from one end of the job site down to another end, I just let him go do his thing. But I just told him, look, man, this is the way you got to tie this down. And you see all that stuff right there? You tell those guys when they get back here with a forklift, take that pallet off and go secure all that stuff on the pallet. And if they don't have, as a matter of fact, I think it was a similar situation I was in. They said, oh man, we don't have any steel banding. I said, well then leave it off my truck. I'm not putting it on that way. Well, we can make it fit. No, if you don't have steel strapping, don't even bring the pallet back. You gotta know how to push your weight on those that just want to get their job done and go home.
Yeah.
So I worked with this guy, and there was some stuff on there that was so bad. I said, do you know how to make a cage with pallets? He didn't. I said, oh, and I'm not going to do the hard work. I said, you see all those pallets over there? Start bringing them up here on the trailer. So I'd have him bring them up, and then I showed him how to make a cage to keep all this stuff tight so it wouldn't get loose. And, thankfully, the guy didn't even say thank you, but I was cool. I know he's going down the road with a safe load now.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And safety first.
Yeah,
always.
yeah. Concern for other people,
You mentioned it was like a young guy.
Yeah, it was.
I spoke actually to a younger trucker. I think he's 23 or 24. Who it's like the youngest trucker I've ever met. Usually, it's like 30s plus that I meet. Have you seen like a lot of younger people getting into trucking recently? Yep,
they are. Usually, they're driving the auto trucks for the big companies. Every once in a while, I'll run into a guy that maybe grew up on a farm, learning equipment. That's the way a lot of these rural guys got into it. They either worked on farm equipment or, their dad's construction company, excavating, whatever, and they know how to operate equipment, know how to tie stuff down, and so they can get into the truck driving position a whole lot further ahead in knowledge than a lot of these guys that all they do, women too, go into a truck driving school. And I'll tell you, even guys that have been driving a long time for companies that I drove for, they wouldn't inspect their equipment before they go out. And that's paramount with me. I was working for a company as a company driver, and I remember one time, I was driving for one of the LTL companies, like Yellow Freight, like ABF. Go ahead, you can keep your eye on that. And
sorry, I'm listening.
Sure, no problem. And I remember going out to the truck in the morning, and that they assigned me, which was not my regular one. And oh no, I was going out to my regular truck, and I'm looking at the guy next to me, and I look at his steer wheel, right on the passenger side. He's getting in the truck. He threw his stuff in the door here, going around here, and I notice a lug nut missing off of his steer tire. So I go over to him. I say, "Hey, man," I said, "You see this over here?" And he goes, "Oh, okay." I said, "Well, you're going to report it, right?" "Oh, yeah, I'm going to report it." I was thinking, man, he's not going to report it.
Yeah.
A month later, I'm assigned that truck as the night driver comes in. He gets out, he goes over to the passenger door, takes his bag out, and he was one of these guys that he thought he was like Mr. Cool Trucker, had the shiny Western boots and, just running line haul.
Yeah.
And big talker. And I go over there to throw my stuff in the side, and the first thing I looked at was that steer. It had 2 lug nuts left on 10.
Really?
On 10.
Oh my god.
And I said, "Hey, man." He goes, "What?" I said, "Did you see this?" He goes, "Holy." And I said, "Man," I said, "don't you inspect your equipment before you go out?" He goes, "Man, I didn't know it was like that." And I'm going, if you looked at it every night before you go out, you would know. You know, I didn't say that, but took it over to the garage and I showed the guy. He goes, "Oh my God." He said that wheel had to be wobbling when he was driving. It had to be shaking the whole truck. He said there's no way he would have not known. He should have known. Well, when he took off those 2 lug nuts, all the holes where the studs were worn loose. I mean, worn wider than the studs. He said those 2 lug nuts were about ready to come off, and that wheel would have come off that trip. So that I would have been on. Well, of course, I inspect my equipment. Matter of fact, to the point where when they saw me coming in at night, they'd say, "Here comes Marty. We're gonna have to deadline the equipment." That means like, "Oh, I picked up this trailer. I checked everything underneath. Needs a brake job, or you got some bald tires on it, or whatever." And of course, if I knew it had anything wrong with the brakes, I would adjust them myself. I carried a few tools, but I was one of the very few guys that ever checked equipment to the level that I did. And that's why after a while I just said, you know what, I should just get my own truck. You know, because I like to maintain my equipment all the way top notch, so it's safe and I feel safe.
How many? I met someone at the Ottawa Convoy. He said he had like 1 million kilometers or something.
Safe miles?
Yeah. 1 million kilometers on his truck.
Oh, okay.
How many do you have?
1,950,996. So 1,951,000.
And that's miles?
Miles.
Wow.
Yeah. And this truck is a 97. And when I bought it, I think it was 2009. I think. 2008, 2000. I think it was 2009. And it needed a lot more work than I thought I was gonna put into it. I probably would not have bought it if I knew it needed as much work as it did.
Really?
So I started on it. Now some of it I did myself, but most of the big stuff I have other people do, shops.
Is it really expensive to get stuff done on trucks like this?
Oh yeah. I'd have to look at my receipts because everything's changing now. Things are going unbelievable now. I just talked to a guy that his big truck burned up, so he bought like a Duramax or something. He had to get brake shoes for his truck. They were $35 a set of brake shoes previously, and it's like, what did he say it was? Like $120 or $160?
Thanks, no names. Someone gave me a donation,
cool.
So I
Nice.
just shout them out.
Yeah, right, absolutely.
But so it's like a lot more. Would you say, like, since getting into trucking and stuff, you're more knowledgeable about like your car, like when you take it in, the mechanic doesn't, like your personal car, like the mechanic doesn't really mess around. Oh, you need this, and this done.
Well, let's put it this way. I don't use my personal truck, meaning it's an F-350 crew cab diesel. My wife's car is an 06, and it's just got all that new crap all through it where you can hardly find anything in the engine. It's a Cadillac, so it's got that big top box on it, and everything is a hassle to get done on it. I changed the light on the right side, the big headlight, and it was a major project just to get that done. You had to drop down the bumper, you had to pull off the inside wheel cover, or wheel well cover, crawl up in there, and it's like, golly, you know what? They should make it a law that if you have to change a headlight, it should be something a lady could do on the side of the road if she had to.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, what if a lady's traveling, and it doesn't have to be a lady, any guy, whatever, but I always think of women and children. Lady's on a road and she loses a headlight. Well, if she's traveling on a weekend and she has a spare headlight or buys one at Walmart or whatever, auto parts store, she should be able to take out her screwdriver and pull out the light and replace it. Why should she have? Now, some of these vehicles, I forget, one of these cars, it's like a Chevy. I talked to a driver, I was going into a tire shop for something, and he was having an awful time with a customer, and he said, I told that customer, if you're going to replace one of these headlights, you should get both of them. And he said, no, that's okay because they're too expensive. Well, okay, now it's going to be another $250 in labor to pull the grill off, pull the bumper off, pull everything out, and change your headlight. It's like a 3-hour job or whatever it was.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like he was so ticked off. I said, I told you, you should have got both headlights done when we had all this stuff taken down.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It should be illegal to make it that difficult. I don't like laws, but I mean regulations. But you know, these automobile companies should think more about people like you and me on the road having to change a headlight on a trip at night. You know.
What's Have you ever gone into any like close calls or like
on the highway?
On the highway, either like with your car or with this truck?
Like, what do you mean close calls?
Like I don't know. I talked to someone. He said he hit a deer. Or, you know, some other guy. He said some girl without insurance swerved in front of him. She totaled her car.
I've had numerous. It's like I was a magnet for bad drivers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Thanks again, No Names. You're going crazy in the chat.
Going crazy, huh? Is that good or bad?
I don't know. Like, he's just, he's donating, so I don't know.
That's good. Well, he must like something, right?
Yeah.
So, I would say the first accident I remember was 1980. And what I did was, I got directions. I'm just throwing stuff around back there because I started to straighten it up, but got distracted. Yeah, so I was in the cab over Freightliner. I got directions to this from this load delivery I was going to make in New York City. And I didn't know that New York City area at that time. And so I got directions, and the guy gave them to me over the phone. I followed them to the T, and as I'm getting closer and closer to the address, I realized, well, this is definitely not where I'm going to be delivering this load, because it was downtown Manhattan on Park Avenue.
Really?
And I just said, well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to drive right to that guy's address, and I'm going to say, well, here's your load. So I got to it. It was on, I think it was Park Avenue, downtown Manhattan, New York. No trucks are allowed in there either, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine. It's the streets are so narrow.
Yeah. So I double parked. Then I said, hey, where is this guy when I went inside? Oh, 7th floor. Okay. Took the elevator to the 7th floor. I walk up to him and I go, here you go, here's that. And he goes, yeah, just bring it up. I said, why don't you look at that bill of lading? oh, no, this goes on the other side of town. I said, yeah, I figured that, but since I was already here, I just figured I'd show you, you know. And so I got the directions. Now, I go back in the truck. This is Friday lunchtime. And I got in the truck. I had to make a U-turn. And I had to make a U-turn to go the other way, get out of town. And I had to make it from the right lane. Had my left turn signal on, my window open, waving people back. I couldn't believe it, man. Somebody actually let me go. They were waiting for me. So I start swinging that turn, turning. Oh, I didn't have power steering either. Really? No power steering. I'm turning that thing. And all of a sudden I hear, ah, bam! I mean, that guy was flying.
Really?
He smashed right into my steer tire. And it was an Indian guy. I got out. I looked at the car. First, I'm looking at that thing. Hit me so hard. It was a Ford Fairmont 4-door car. That thing hit me so hard. The roof bent up. I was either up or down. I can't remember. That thing was. He hit that. What he did was, I'm not going to wait for that truck. I'm going to go right by that. Whoops.
Yeah.
You know, that was the worst. And so I got a ticket because, oh, you're not supposed to be on this road. You get a ticket for no commercial traffic. So this guy's all of a sudden trying to change his tire. He says, "Can you tell them you were in the driver's seat and I was in the passenger?" I said, "What are you, nuts?" And so he's trying to change the tire. And then this guy comes up and he says, "Why don't you help him change the tire?" I'm like, oh man, what are these people all weird? You know, so I just left. I'm not going to tell the rest of the story, but the cops took forever to get there. They weren't even going to bother until I made a third call. I said, "Yeah, you know, the truck driver's laying over the steering wheel. I think he's hurt." "Oh, really? Yeah, okay, we'll send the cops." You know.
Really?
Yeah, it was that bad. So, anyway, that was a disaster. But I've had numerous others. I've hit a deer at night just not that long ago. Busted up my bumper right after I had everything done on the front from another accident. I was coming up 80. What's that?
So I'm just
go ahead.
You can ignore me. I'm just shouting the people out in the truck. But you can just.
I was coming up. I had just loaded on the step deck. I had loaded A-frames, or I loaded some kind of glass, vertical. And I think it was tarped. But anyway, I was going up 85 north out of Gastonia and North Carolina. And it was pouring rain. And I'm just crawling up the hill doing like 55 up around exit 19. I saw a white car go flying in the left lane in pouring rain. I said, man, they're going way too fast in the rain. I'm just driving along. All of a sudden, I see that car coming directly across the highway. She must have been texting, I don't know, just hydroplaned, whatever she did.
Yeah.
She ended up coming right across the road. And there's a red car up a little bit ahead of me in the lane left to me. That car moves over to avoid her, but that car still ends up hitting the red car. They smash side by side, and I'm standing on the brakes like, ah! They stopped right in front of me. I'm going, oh man, I'm gonna hit both of them. And sure enough, man, boom! Both cars went like a split.
Oh my God.
The red car went off over that way, and the white car went all the way across the highway, hit the concrete barrier, spun around a couple times. And I go, oh man. So I pulled over, and as soon as it was pouring rain, I got my raincoat out, my hard hat, and I let it run off. I looked at her. She looked like she was just looking at me, and I thought, okay, well, she's fine. I'm not walking across the highway anyway.
Yeah.
Went over to that woman in the red car, and she had little babies in the car, and she was checking on the baby in the back in the seat, car seat. And I looked at the driver's side, and it was all smashed. And I said, "You okay?" She goes, "I'm checking my babies. I'm checking my babies." And she had 3 kids in the car. And then I go to the rear of her car, and there's no damage.
Really?
I said, "Ma'am, there's no damage on the back of your car." I said, "I hit you both, right?" And she said, "Well, I saw you coming." And I said, "Jesus, I got kitties in the car." you know? And I said, well, ma'am, I said, I'm going to tell you what, either the angels or the Lord himself did a miracle right here, because you were closer to me than the white car when I hit. And how did your car get all the way over there like that and you didn't get hit and I hit her? And that's when she told me that. So she was off on the exit.
Wow.
And that's a miracle right there.
That could have gone a lot worse.
Yeah. So I ended up, I had a wrecker come, and the wrecker was gonna tow me. I said, I need it towed to such and such place. Oh no, man, we gotta tow it to our yard. Oh no, we're not going to your yard. You're going to where I tell you to go. Oh no, I can't do that. I can only take you to my yard. I said, we're not doing that. Why? You know why?
What?
Then they start charging you storage fees.
Really?
Yeah, for a full tractor trailer, you know they're gonna hit you up big time on that. I said, no, man. I said, I'm not going to your yard. I said, tell you what, I'm gonna hook a chain to my bumper. Was pushed all the way to the steer tire. I'm gonna hook a chain to it. You can pull it all the way out. We'll be good. Yeah, you sure? I said, yep. Let's do that. He pulled it away and I drove it, but the hood was damaged too. And then I ended up buying a hood, and the truck was black before, but being down south, I said, man, this is way too hot in the summer. Just paint it white, you know. So that's how that happened. And if you're needing to go, just let me know. I don't want to hold you up, you know.
Oh no, it's okay. I'll probably go back after I interview you, just because there's not many people out. But hold on, I'm just gonna text the 1 second, guys. I'm gonna be.
For anyone who's tortured by gum disease or tooth decay. This solution is so simple and so incredibly powerful that it's been clinically proven to work.
Unless we decide to go somewhere else. So for this particular
2 hours the other day.
Convoy deal, we're on that channel there, which I'm not going to let it
You got to be in front of the grandstand.
Maybe some people don't. Shouldn't know. I'm sure everybody watching you is good. But, so
Yeah. So what are they talking about and stuff that's happening around here?
Yeah, these are the guys that are doing security in this lot.
Okay.
And so they're talking about somebody that did something.
Tell me nothing. I want them back up here at the gate. Nah, bullshit. They're staying down here with me. I wonder about that one.
So those are also truck drivers talking, and we all help each other out. So that's another very handy tool that every truck driver should have, and a lot of them don't nowadays. It used to be, if you ride with me at any time, or with anybody else, and you go on this convoy, you'll find that everybody's talking on the radio back and forth, letting you know what to do, whatever. That's the way trucking used to be.
Yeah.
But a lot of these guys now don't even know what a CB is.
Really?
And really, they should have it. Now, here's one thing I'd like to point out. You know all these accidents where you see like 25 tractor trailers and all these cars just running into one another? Back when everybody had CBs and 98% of the drivers had them on, you would, especially in bad weather, you would hear about something long before you got to the problem point. So like, let's say a truck jackknifed or is sticking out on the road hey, at the 38-mile marker, you just had a truck jackknife. Let the westbounders know coming this way. So the eastbounders would say, hey, you just had a truck at the 37 do a 38-mile marker, do a jackknife or whatever. He's blocking the right lane, whatever. So trucks, long before they got there, or if there was a whiteout and trucks ran into each other or cars or whatever, they'd just say, hey, there's an accident right up ahead. And everybody would start putting their flashers on before they got it, slowing down. I can't believe these guys that are just driving like full force into these accidents.
Yeah.
And I just don't get it. It's like, you never had that before, never. It's just so unnecessary. Gotta know what's going on. So if you're listening to, you know, your radio and satellite radio, or listen to podcasts, whatever, that's fine. But have a CB, leave it on. You know, you can turn the squelch down enough so you don't hear all the chatter. Have it on so you can hear what's going on. There's all kinds of stuff you can avoid problems with. Hey, we just hit a deer on this road. You know, you got a deer just laying across the road right now. You don't want to hit that.
Yeah.
You know.
Agreed.
Or what they call alligators. Alligators are the retreads. They call them alligators because it's so hard and
What do you
bumpy.
mean?
The retread, like the tire pieces you'll see on the highway. You'll see like recap tires usually blow a cap off, and it's a big black piece of rubber that is very damaging to any equipment if you hit it. You hit it, a car, it's gonna smash stuff on your car. You run over it, it's gonna rip out fuel lines, whatever, your catalytic converter on a car, muffler, whatever. It's not gonna be a good thing. You don't want to hit one of those.
I don't think I've ever seen one of those on the road. Or maybe
Yeah.
if I did, I was like unidentified.
Yeah. Well, you'll probably notice them now that I told you.
What I had another question too, because everybody I know calls them something different. What do you call the little strips in the middle of the road or on the side that make noise?
Rumble strips?
Yeah, rumble strips. I heard someone call them gator humps or gator bumps or something.
No, they're called rumble strips.
Yeah, that's what I always called them too.
Yeah. Now, funny, when I first started driving, and I was driving down in Louisiana, I remember that co-driver I had, he told me, because he was going in the bunk, and we were going through these little back roads, he said, make sure you don't hit any of the gators. Keep your eye out for gators. But he meant real alligators, that they cross the road.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and you don't want to run over a gator.
Yeah.
They're nasty. They do a lot of damage.
Really?
To your truck. Yeah, I mean, just think.
I mean, I guess it's kind of
like a dinosaur. Yeah, right? It's like a dinosaur. It looks like almost like a armadillo or something.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Do you ever drive? So you mentioned you drive like a lot on, you said North Carolina, Florida.
Well, I would say in the last several years, everything from New England to Florida, over to Alabama, Mississippi. I don't go to Texas much anymore, or haven't been. Maybe I will be now that they got a good economy over there.
Yeah.
And definitely when Trump gets back this year, because they're going to overturn the election, and he's going to get back in. We're not waiting until 2024. We won't have a country by 2024. That's my opinion, strong opinion. So I go all the way up to, like, some of the states I've been to recently were Wisconsin, Michigan, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania. That's kind of my area, more or less. I like going to Ohio and back. That's nice. West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee. Those are a little bit less frequent for me.
Do you ever go to the West Coast?
Not anymore.
Why not?
I like to be home, and also California, I have no use for it anymore.
Yeah.
I don't, they want to play the game with CARB.
Oh, carbon emissions?
CARB is California Air Resources Board, which is the most extreme air pollution control beyond reason.
What is it? It's like a carbon tax, or?
No, it's, you know, first of all, you're supposed to have the most recent EPA garbage on your engine, meaning all their DEF, DPF, and all that. But just because they are the way they are, they're communistic, I don't want to go to that state. And they've been, for me, it's not been any state I really want to go to for a very long time.
Right.
And definitely, I have no interest in going to any of these Antifa-infested states or cities like Portland, Seattle, and then you got Nancy Pelosi's areas in California where, you know, they've just let the poor mentally ill people just sleep out, ruin everything. But it's really not as much their problem. I mean, they're not the problem. It's the politicians and the fact that they're not properly caring for mentally ill people that are legitimately mentally ill. And it's been that way for a long time, but the problem is compounded. But I love running out west, but I haven't done it in a long time. I love it. It's beautiful because it's great scenery, and it's less hassle. I'm talking about Utah, Montana, Wyoming. Of course, bad weather. I'm not talking about that, but I'm saying, you know, Idaho. It's nice running out that way.
And you mentioned you go to Canada, or you used to go to Canada?
I used to, but it's not
in the past couple years?
No. Not in a long time.
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
before all the COVID stuff?
No, I didn't even, no, I wasn't going up there at all.
Why not?
No. Well, also a few things. The border crossings and the hassles. And then now they got, you know, you can do it digitally or online, you can do it better. But then again, they required speed limiters up there, they required ELDs, different measurements for your axles that I don't have. There's Canadian spec trucks and there's US spec trucks. And some of the US spec trucks are, let's say, California legal or Canada. You know, they go qualified for Canada also. And I hear that's changing. And somebody told me recently, oh yeah, you could go up there now. Well, you know, okay, well, we'll see. I don't have any interest in going up there as long as Turdo is up there. And when they get rid of the communist regime up there, I'll be interested, you know. But I'm not going up there. It's like going into Hitler's Germany. It's like you don't know what they're going to do to you. It's like that's why these guys that are trying to say, let's go into D.C., we'll block up the roads and let's make a statement right in D.C. No, that's exactly what the left, what the enemy wants us to do, because they'll do to us what Ottawa did to the truckers. And that's like Nancy Pelosi owns the Capitol Police. You know, basically she runs it.
Yeah.
And that's like the witch saying, come into my lair. No, I'm not going to come into your lair. I'm going to do it around. I'm going to circle around you, circle around your head, and I'm not going into your lair because you got a spider web there.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Yeah, I'm not going in. Any of these guys that try to ridicule us, I hear them on the CB every now and then. Once in a while, I hear a guy get on there, oh, come on, what's a little rain? You can't go to D.C. in a little rain. Come on, you guys, let's go. It's like, no, we're not going to do it. Brian said, don't go.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, man, let's do it. We got to do it. We got to keep it up. No, it's, here's another thing. Driving in the rain, it's a lot harder to stop. When you're empty, it's even worse. When you're bobtailing, which is without a trailer, it's even worse. You try to stop a bobtail just in dry weather, it's hard. Like if you have a panic stop.
Yeah.
So when you got slick roads, whew, it's an accident waiting to happen. You got to be very careful driving one of these in the rain.
He made a good point though, because he said if anything happens, any accidents, you know, they're gonna just pin it on everyone here, say they're unsafe, whatever. So it's best just not to give people an excuse to.
Don't give them a reason. Don't give them any room to slam us. They want the leftist media. They won't come down here, but as soon as something happens, they'll be like flies on camel dung.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen any sort of coverage from mainstream media on this?
I don't watch mainstream media, so I wouldn't know. Somebody texted me something saying Fox did something. I didn't watch. I didn't look for it. You know what's amazing? When you come here and you're part of this thing, like I said when we were walking over here, it's like it's not like you're just sitting around doing nothing watching TV.
Yeah.
It's like there's always something to do, somebody to help out, somebody to talk to. You're sitting in the truck, people's going to start coming up to you and talk to you, and some of the locals or people around saying, hey man, I just want to thank you for what you're doing, and get into a conversation, and people coming up and dropping stuff off for you.
Yeah.
You know, like I came back to my truck and there were 2 bags on my step of stuff people gave me, you know.
Yeah, it was the same in Ottawa. Like I remember I'd go in someone's truck every 2 minutes, someone knocking on the door. Oh, here's food, here's hand warmers, gloves, you know, everything.
Yeah, we're not in that kind of a situation where the local people are all right in there with you.
Yeah.
But I had a girl jump up on a step a couple days ago, and she said, hey, I'm just passing out notes from children, you know, and we just got a whole bunch to pass around. I said, wow, thank you.
Yeah.
So she was saying, no, thank you, and I got the note. I keep all this stuff. You know?
Yeah, it's really sweet.
It is. Yep.
So, do you think there's any? So there's. I don't know if you heard. You were there when he was speaking, but there are some people saying, oh, whatever, we need to do more. We need to go into DC. Do you think those people are sort of going to break off, or?
Hopefully. You know, if their hearts aren't really into what we're doing, it's better if they leave.
Yeah.
It's like in a prayer meeting, you know. You don't want somebody that's on the dark side holding hands and at the end praying, you know.
Right.
So I'm not saying these people are dark. I'm just saying if they really aren't with us, it's better that they leave. But there was a guy, do you remember the other day, there was a guy speaking during the daytime, and he was running for state senator in North Carolina. His name was Lee Tyler.
I'm not sure I was there that day.
Okay, it might not have been. Yeah, it might have been before that. My way back up this way. I was parked way up there, and I saw the guy. And I said, "Oh, I want to meet him," you know. And he was standing next to a guy was to his right, and then there was a big, heavy-set guy right in front of him, and he was being really belligerent. He was saying, no, man, you know what? We need to go right into DC and lock it up. Man, we need to go in there and lock it up. We're done with this just running around in circles, you know? And Lee Tyler was very wise. He said, no, actually, you know, we want to do it the diplomatic way. We're not in here to, you know, make trouble. And, oh, hell with that. You know, that's what we need to do. Make trouble for them. And I said to him, you don't want to go into DC, believe me. He said, you don't tell me what I want to do, you know? And I said, well, you want to get arrested? I mean, maybe you want to go in there. And he says, hell with that, I don't care. And I just realized he was a total idiot, but I was looking at him very closely. I was thinking, you know what? He's either a complete idiot, or he's with Antifa, or one of these feds, I don't know, you know, that's trying to stir up trouble, like J6. So I noticed he had 3 black earrings here. I was kind of thinking maybe he's doggone Antifa, you know? And so when he was yelling at me the next time, I just got in between him and Lee, and I said, hey, Lee, my name's Marty, and I just want to meet you, you know? And it's like, get out of here, you know? So there's people like that I don't need them around.
Yeah.
They're just going to screw something up. And if he's a truck driver, which I kind of wonder about, it's like, he's the kind of truck driver I don't want around me on a good day.
Yeah.
You know?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Some people are a little bit out there, definitely.
Yeah.
Let's see if And also with the rules with DC, it's not a state, is it? It doesn't really fall under. It's a district.
It's a district.
From what I understand.
And of course, are you familiar with the Act of 1871 and the United States Corporation?
I'm not sure. What does it say?
So I heard little bits and pieces of this, and it all came together. But I was thinking, man, it sounds too good to be true. Here's the thing. DC is its own little thing. It's not a state. It is a city, but it's also its own little entity.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how this is going to fit with your exact question, but for one thing, if you want to go into DC with a truck to deliver, you're supposed to get a permit, which is true in a lot of cities, but in DC, it takes 10 to 12 days to get that permit approved.
Right.
So most of us just go in and deliver and we get out. But if we get into an accident, it's going to be a problem, you know, because then you're going to say, oh, where's your permit to be here? Just like when I had that accident in Manhattan. Oh, you're not supposed to be here. That makes you at fault, even though he's at fault for what he did, you know? So, DC, you need a permit to come into, and to hold a rally there with that communist regime that's current, oops, I shouldn't have said that either. But with that regime that's currently occupying supposedly the office of the White House, I wouldn't want to even get near it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give them any chance to pounce on me and cause any problems. Plus, their own, as soon as they knew the enemy knows that you're going to bring in your trucks, they're going to call up their black-faced buddies. I'm talking about black mask, black outfit, and all that.
Okay.
And they'll probably drop off a couple of pallets of bricks like they did in other cities. And you think I'm wanting bricks thrown at my truck? They're going to come up out of side streets and throw them like they did in other cities that the Antifa did. So, hope that doesn't get taken down. But no, that's why there's no reason to go into DC at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they can kind of switch up the rules. I mean, everybody's seen it in Ottawa. The U.S. is different, but it just goes to show they can kind of switch up the rules at any point. Like
they love to switch the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. It's even when Obama came in, I felt like that was he was really bringing in lawlessness, and it's just accelerated ever since. Except for Trump's time, it was being reversed. He's actually a real law and order guy. But whoever's in there acting like they're Biden and running this thing with all the puppet masters they got, it's just a total disaster. They're masters of disaster. See, the way you bring in COMMUNISM is you create chaos, unrest, poverty, just like Hitler did. That's the way you subverse the masses. That's the word I want. Make them subservient.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get them so that they're so desperate they'll do anything for so-called peace.
I talked to, I don't remember if it was here or if it was in Ottawa, but I talked to someone and he said that, oftentimes, well, all the time, governments, they'll take away your freedoms, but they don't give them back.
No. Once they take them, they have no interest in giving them back.
Yeah.
You know? Yep. Just like Bush, George W. Bush, the son of the other guy, when he came up with the Patriot Act, that was just an excuse to take our freedoms away and spy on us. And have you heard of William Binney? Bill Binney?
I haven't.
You can check him out sometime. He was the one that designed the spying system for us to spy on our enemies. And when Bush came in and came up with the Patriot Act after 9/11, Bill Binney said, I did not create this to spy on our people. I do not agree with this at all. And they said, well, that's what we're going to do. And he said, well, I resigned. I'm getting out of here. And he resigned.
Yeah.
He knows how to operate that system. And I saw an interview. This is going to be very interesting to your listeners if they can catch it. I saw an interview with a woman. I can't remember her name. She was a long blonde-haired woman, a finance person. She did an interview with Bill Binney. That's Binney. And she was asked, when I turned it on, she was asking him, well, what about the $1.2 trillion or whatever she used for that Wall Street lost? And he said, let's just say it was 1.5 or 2 trillion. He said, like, 2 trillion? Try 25 trillion. She goes, 25 trillion? Yeah, that's what they have lost. And she said, oh my God. She said, well, is there any way that you could find it? Absolutely. She said, well, like, what do you mean? He said, I can find the exact time it was transferred, who sent it, where it went, what country, what IP address. I can locate all the telephone numbers, text messages, emails, everything. She goes, really? She said, emails? He said, yep, everything. And she said, well, how do you do that? He said, it's in the light. His system is called the light. Mm-hmm. And she said, well, what about Hillary's emails? I mean, she scrubbed her laptop, she smashed it, she acided it, you know. I could find it because it's still there in the light. And she goes, like, all of them? Yep, all of them. Like, how long would it take you to find them all? If you gave me 10 men that know what they're doing, I could get them in a month. Really? So isn't it interesting? The Bible says everything that is in the darkness will be exposed in the light. That is something, man. Yeah. Yeah. All this stuff is going to come out. All this stuff that they think they've been hiding from us all these years, all their
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much I can really say on YouTube. I don't know if I can discuss it because I did talk to someone in the Ottawa Convoy, and he knew a lot about this kind of stuff. Like I think I talked to him for like 2 hours about it. Like he was super knowledgeable. Yeah, and that ended up getting taken down. But the whole stuff with the Epstein stuff recently.
Oops.
I think I'm allowed to say Epstein, but I don't think. I'm not gonna go into detail. But stuff. Definitely.
Well, the thing is, I forget where I saw this, but the information that came to me was that the whole backlash against the truckers up there was because they did not want their Papa Echo Delta Oscar rings and traffic control ING to be affected in any way, and they were trying to protect that type of ring, which is huge in Canada and especially Ottawa. And Turdo is also involved in it big time. And also, did you notice this guy named Robert Goyve, Esquire? He does YouTube videos, and he's very good. He did let me think. he was covering the Canadian Convoy really well, and he started exposing Trudeau. And he said, you know, I'm as a criminal defense lawyer, I got to take a picture of Trudeau, and then I took a picture of the Prime Minister Trudeau, his father, right? So as a lawyer, I mean, I got to look at similarities and differences.
Yeah.
He says, so I'll look at the earlobes, and then he shows the father's nothing like them. I look at the chin, I look at the lips, I look at the nose, I look at the eyes, I look at the forehead. You know, he goes through all these things. Do you see any similarities? Because I don't, you know. Then he says, then he just puts this picture right in the middle of Fidel Castro.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah, I mean, that's like a tale as old as time. Everyone, you know.
Do you know also that the Prime Minister Trudeau's wife was known to sleep around quite a bit?
I didn't know that.
And he also had pictures of who she slept around with next to her, and you know, get music groups and stuff like that, and Fidel Castro, with Fidel Castro on her right arm. I call her a pile of Pelosi, and actually I call her a pile of offensive Pelosi, which equates to P-O-O-P, and it needs to be shoveled out. And but she and her family, Newsom and a whole bunch of others, are all intermarried, and they're all.
No names. I don't know if you're still in the chat here. Hold on, guys. If it buffers, I just yeah, no names. I see you. If it buffers, I'm just checking. I'm gonna be here bright and early tomorrow, and I might take a ride on the belt, the Freedom Belt, or whatever it's called. So stay tuned for that tomorrow, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And hold on, I'm gonna see if I can get in the car. Where is it? Oh, oh, here we go. All right. Were you waiting a long time? I didn't see your thing.
It was pretty long.
Really? How long?
It was like 20 minutes.
You were here for 20 minutes?
No, maybe 10.
Because I only got the thing at 11:09, and then I don't know if you sent it before that. But
Texted.
oh really? My bad.
You're good.
So this is Sharzot and Wagzot signing off. Is there anything you wanted to say?
Big day tomorrow.
Huge day tomorrow. So
Big,
we're
big
gonna
day.
try to get our beauty sleep, and
Expressway.
yeah, it's gonna be crazy. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for the super chats.